All right. Hello and welcome. Welcome to my channel, wherever in the world you're watching. Who am I? I put today, I am sober, spiritual, very human Karen. You can call me KK. That resonates with some people. Just give me 1 second before I really dive into why we're here and what we're going to talk about. And the reason why I'm sharing, I've been called to share and just be real authentic today because what I've learned through my travels and my journey, and I will share that my journey has not been the easiest journey by all means, but I am grateful for all of it, the good times, the challenging times, the people, the support, and all the crazy things that I did. I'll be honest with you. I lived a quite adventurous, interesting life. So we're just going to share this into a couple things and get started where I can really just focus on you guys. But I wanted to welcome you. It is Sunday. It is like my favorite day to really reflect and go deep and do self-care and spend time, more time meditating or out in nature. And I'm sharing my story because here we go. I just wanted to jump back on here. um I share my story as authentically and transparent as possible because through my travels I realized that there's freedom within this. And so who am I? Well, I'm just a human. I created a company called Believe in Humans because when I got sober this time around, not my first time rodeo, I truly did a 180. I completely changed my life, which was what I needed to do to free myself from all of the crap that was holding me back from living a happy, joyful life and being a better mom, a better sister, daughter, say like ex-wife, girlfriend, whatever it was. And also realizing that all the people who are not resonating with that at any given time with wherever you are, they kind of just slip away. And today's topic that I wanted to share was it's going to probably bounce all over the place a little bit. And if you happen to be watching, let me know, who you are, where you're joining from, and also if you're not subscribed to my channel, take a second and just hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when I go live or upload any new videos. Thank you for your support. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it were not for all of you humans. Yes, we are human. We make mistakes. I am really coming out of the fog from, and I am a mom. I am divorced and my son just turned 18. So that was a big deal. That just happened on Friday, St. Patrick's Day. So enough talk about all of my background. I am 7+ years sober. I think that my experience is of like getting sober and then relapsing, getting sober, relapsing, and all the things that I experienced through that. I have a pretty deep understanding of how we get sober and stay sober and how we get sober and fail. Yep, we fail, we fall. Those are our biggest wins, quite honestly. When we fail, we get to fail forward because we learn. We learn our biggest lessons the harder we fall. Yeah, I know it doesn't make it, easy to be a warrior and to be that brave soul. But when you are that warrior and that brave soul and you keep getting back up, fall down, get back up, fall down, get back up, the stronger you become. And quite honestly, the more you believe in yourself. So the more that you keep showing up for you and showing up in life, the more confident you become. confidence is something that I have found to be one of the greatest and biggest um, aspects that somebody could work on in their life. I've been through a lot in the last like 2 no, how many years? Oh gosh, what are we going on now? I lost a year, like 3.5 years. So I was in a narcissistic abusive relationship for 2.5 years of my life, all through COVID. Through that time, I became a spiritual practitioner, got certified, and also got my certification to become a Buddha yoga instructor. But prior to that, I was in this relationship that was like wearing me down mentally, emotionally, and my confidence. I really became somebody that I wasn't. I was showing up less than who I was because in a I was in this abusive relationship for so long, but it was also through COVID. And if you don't know anything about narcissism, some people, like this particular ex, thinks it's just somebody who it's like who loves themselves too much, or puts themselves. Um there's a difference between ego and being an asshole, I'm gonna say, over having self-confidence, self-love, self-worth. Those are two very different things. A picture yin yang, right? Like black and white. That was basically that relationship that was in. But then there was like trauma bonding and all these manipulative moves that I wasn't aware of until after the relationship was over. And the only reason, quite truthfully, that it was finally over was what I came out of, like, that um me accepting all the bullshit. So I took my power back. And it was very difficult because there was that trauma bond and that love for that person, who I don't really know who that person is, quite truthfully, because there was just this mask that I just got the wool pulled over my eyes, duped is what some people say. And eventually it went from like all this like love bombing into devaluing and then discarding. And then they like bounce and there's like nothing. It's like they vanish, ghost. This is not about that, but I think it's important to share because people in recovery tend to be codependent, and also they do not have the confidence and self esteem to stand up for themselves. And so that is why I always say I am a spiritual warrior. I will show up, suit up to protect, first of all, my inner peace, but then help other people stand in their truth, take their power back, and be ready to be that spiritual warrior. Because you know what? Love wins every time. God is love, love is God. We are love. And so the more that we step into that truth, the more goodness we're going to bring, the more goodness we're going to attract, the more love we're going to attract. And so it's super powerful that if you can show up, show up in confidence and strength and courage. It takes courage. Yes, it takes courage. And I'm assuming you guys can hear me because I didn't test the audio, but maybe I should test the audio. A little late now, but let's just test it really quick to make sure that we are all groovy and that we're rocking and rolling, because I should have asked. I don't really, I know it's Sunday. It's, oh my gosh, tomorrow's spring. Are you guys excited? But let's get back on track. I don't want to lose you guys because I feel like this is a really important topic that we have to talk about today, about really just showing up vulnerably and being aware of your own crap. And also, let's see. Okay, good, good. I just wanted to confirm that we're good. Okay. So the more that we are open and become aware of our own shadow, like what do we have to work on? And not always like, when you're in a narcissistic relationship, they're always bouncing it back to you and gaslighting you. And then you're like, you love this person. And so you start to say, like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, maybe they're right. And you start to like lessen lessen your standards, your value, all integrity. It is the emoji. But like I said, this isn't about that. Um, Today I went to my spiritual center for the second time, and Friday I had a conversation with my reverend. Finally, so well overdue. And I don't know if you've been following me. If you haven't, toward the at the end of my narcissistic relationship, when he broke up with me, something went down with my spiritual center because I obviously was not in my right head. I literally became somebody else. I literally became somebody else, especially at the end of that relationship when it ended, and it ended really abruptly and very harshly. And well, it didn't actually, as a matter of fact. But he said some really mean things that hurt me, but the relationship kind of like trickled on for a while, and because it had happened before, and I was always open-minded to like it's going to come back around. It's just like this moment in time. And let me tell you this, it is this moment in time. Everything is this moment in time. So I had a falling out with my spiritual center because I wasn't being fully in integrity. I see this now. That is my shadow. That is my experience. What happened for me is, I was suffering. I was suffering. I felt like had been abandoned by all the people that I loved, which in a way I was through my eyes, right? Through my eyes. But I also knew that I had to stand in my truth. I had to do my journey the way that it felt right for me and not lessen who I was or how I showed up to the world, because that wouldn't be me. I couldn't not be me because I had worked so hard to become open and just to share who I was. And you know, maybe it offended somebody. Maybe it offended a few people because I started posting about self-love in, maybe inappropriate apparel for a spiritual center for but I'm not attracting somebody who judges that. And I don't want to be a part of a community that is not facing that situation. I don't know the way that I would have faced it had I been in that situation. But in hindsight, it all happens exactly how it's supposed to happen because I am a spiritual practitioner. Nothing's changed. I am certified as a spiritual practitioner. I just do not have an affiliation, which also gives me the power to be a little bit raw, a little bit like true grit, because that is where I come from. I partied my whole life off. I drank my whole life away. The first part of it, I'm grateful, and I had a second chance to, have a new life. Basically, I barely remember the previous life. I literally did get rebirthed. Over like 7.5 years ago. And when I got into that relationship, I was like a virgin to relationships because it was the first relationship that I had been in after I got sober this time around. So I was literally like, I don't know, I was vulnerable. Yeah, brand new. It was like a new thing. I also didn't know that like people out there like narcissistic personalities. I didn't know about it. I wasn't educated. So what I can say is educate yourself. If you've ever had to like if you've ever had to like less than like take away your integrity or like your values because of somebody else that you're with, um start looking up narcissism. Dr. Ramani, there's a bunch of people. I watch Richard Grannon, I love, and that's how I learned. So I actually went from watching my ex back on YouTube that like led me to this gold mine of truth and realized that I had been, familiar with narcissism my whole life. And then I just kept attracting those relationships because that's what felt good, because it was familiar. It was familiar behavior from childhood that I could relate to. And so it felt like normal and comfortable, and I didn't know how toxic it was. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because I wasn't aware. And I've been on a spiritual journey for like probably started in my 20s, but then 2013 it really shifted because that was one time I got sober and I became a Beachbody coach, like a health and fitness coach. And so I really started, and I found my spiritual center, which changed my life. And so when they sort of like abandoned me in my mind, um, I was traumatized. I was traumatized starting in the October of 2021. Everything was like ripped up after COVID. So what happened for me is when I was in that relationship, I was attacked by his cat violently, viciously. It was horrible. I got COVID, which became long COVID, and that was before vaccinations. And then oh no, wait, I fell and blacked out and hit my eye and had stitches. That was before COVID. so 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 cat attack, blackout, eye, stitches. Finally started to heal from that, and this is all right before my 50th birthday. And I then got COVID, which then turned into long COVID. And I had a really rough summer that summer, and he was always like trying to push me to do more. And I was like, oh, I was just so tired all the time. I did the best I could, but I felt like he was always like disappointed and looking down on me because I wasn't like who I was in the very beginning when he met me. But honestly, it was just disvaluing me because I wasn't up to par, and there was no forgiveness, there was no compassion, there was no empathy for me when I was going through that time. And that also started to like lessen my confidence, right? So so I made it through the summer, and then things started to get weirder as fall came, and then his mom got sick, and she was in the hospital. Eventually, she passed right after Thanksgiving, and horrible. I mean, like horrible. So when she got sick, he started changing, and yeah, that October is when everything like just changed for me. My whole life changed. Blink of an eye. Okay. Like I was traumatized. Traumatized. So nothing dies though. Okay. So I want to talk about death because I don't believe in death. I believe in life eternal, our souls in these bodies. And you might not believe in that. And that's fine. I found it an easier, softer way of living because there's no fear, right? So I'm not scared of dying. We die, we turn, we move on to somewhere else. And we're here for a reason. And that's why I show up, because there's a reason. I follow my guide, my intuition. This video wasn't planned. I just wanted to share with you what's going on because recently I had this like I'm out of the clouds. I'm out of the clouds that I was in from that relationship, from everything that happened. I'm still repairing relationships, but I've managed to start to integrate back into my spiritual family, my AA family. I have no idea what's going on with the Ice Women New Jersey, now called Polar Collective, but Um, it is what it is. It's just where I am right now. I spent that whole winter when I felt this trauma and I felt abandoned from everything that I once knew and once loved. I found the cold water. So I'm forever grateful for being introduced to the cold water out in the wild and having that whole experience that winter because it really saved me, saved my soul because it just snapped me out of whatever I was going through in my mind and my emotions, feeling abandoned, traumatized, feeling like, you know, like really like what is happening? 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 So, I've m I meditated a lot for a year. I just hibernated into, like, figuring out what happened, figuring it out, and trying to get answers, and ultimately not getting all the answers that I am looking for, but I have to accept that. At some point, you just let it all go, and that is right now. I let it all go. If someone doesn't want to speak with me, resolve things, communicate, work together, okay. Like, that's their journey, not my journey. So, we try to control, like, the situation or control others or, want them to be like us. Well, they're not. You can't change people. You can't have expectations. Where's my book? Four Agreements. Thought it was on my desk. It probably is. No, it's not. Okay. The Four Agreements. Sorry. So, being open-minded. So, nothing dies. Like, relationship might seem like it dies, but does it ever die? We have those memories and people change. Like, people change, people heal. I am a healer, spiritual counselor, practitioner, healer. I help people heal themselves, empower themselves, become the best version of themselves. So, for the people who maybe have blocked me, I pray for you. I have compassion for you. I want you to heal. I want you to free yourself from anything that is holding you back from living your best life. I want that more than anything. I want it for all of you. Believe in humans, guys. This hat, I'm gonna take this off. This is like I decided I don't like the snapback hats. But anyway, it's not even tight enough. But believe in humans. We were never broken. I have this card that's like for me for my services. Healing and empowering humans daily. We were never broken. We were never broken. Just conditions, layers and layers, like Shrek and the Onion. We were never broken. Sometimes we just need a little like oil, like the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Home is within you. That is the God, the light within you. That is your home. I want to leave you with something that I actually meant to read on Friday. And it's just been a whirlwind with the birthdays and my son's birthday on Friday that I didn't get a second. But I would like to read to you guys something that resonated with me so much on Friday that I was like, I have to read this to everybody. I felt like it was so good. And it was March 17th, my son's 18th birthday. So I'm gonna read this to you guys. And would I would say if you're able to just sit and take a nice inhale and exhale through your mouth. Close your eyes or gaze right in front of you at the floor, feet on the floor if you want, or half lotus, easy seat. This reading is from 365 Days of Richer Living, Daily Inspirations by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. March 17th. I see with the eyes of God. There's a Bible verse. One thing I know that whereas I was blind, now I see. John 9:25. So the reading, the ancients said that there is an all-seeing eye, and that if we could cause our physical eyes to see with its vision, we should be looking at things as they really are. But it is not true that too often we see with a blurred vision because we are so confused mentally. The all seeing eye of God, by its very nature, being one and only, must forever see things as they really are. This is why Jesus said to judge not according to appearance, but to judge righteously. We cannot expect to draw a pattern of this right seeing from the objective world of confusion or our inner thoughts of doubt and fear. Therefore, we are told to see and act accordingly to the pattern shewed from to thee in the mount. That is, we are to look and think independently of the confusion around us. We are to view everything as we feel the divine, infinite, and perfect being must know and understand in its own creation to be. This is seeing with the eyes of God. Today, I am seeing with the eyes of the divine. I am looking at things in a perfect and direct way. I am seeing through confusion to peace, through doubt to certainty, through fear to faith. Quietly, then, I review myself, those around me, and everything that occupies my attention, bringing to them all a broader vision, a deeper insight, a more complete perspective of the infinite harmony, which I know is back of, in, and through everything that God has made. I am keeping my eye single to this one truth. What God has done is good. Therefore, my experiences are good. In calm judgment, then I sit quietly within myself and in my imagination, look around and see everything according to the divine pattern. As I do this, everything I look upon shall become transformed and reborn. It's a very powerful reading. The last thing I wanted to share with you is that today in my bathroom window, I realized that this little orchid that came from Joyful Gathering, my spiritual center, years and years ago, just bloomed again for this yeah, just bloomed. And as though many times I've thought this was dead, it just keeps coming back. So never you can mourn relationships, but if you have any belief that we are souls and spirits in these bodies and that we reincarnate and move from lifetime to lifetime, that nothing's permanent, everything is temporary. Even relationships that you might think are over, they might not be over because you might meet them in a next lifetime, or you might actually patch things up. I've patched things up mostly with my spiritual center, and this is a sign of the new birth, the bloom, and tomorrow is spring. So tomorrow is the first day of spring, the spring equinox, and look at this sign of life, of rebirth. My relationship with my spiritual center has been reborn once again. I have one more relationship within that that is still has work to do. Forgiveness has a conversation to be had, and it's not in my hands anymore. It is out of my control. I let go. I let God. I pray for this person. I pray for my exes. I pray for anybody who has caused this any turmoil within other people. We pray for them because they are also humans in this journey, and believe in humans. We are so powerful. We are way beyond what we could ever imagine. I'm living proof every day, when I get in the cold water, I'm like, how am I doing this? We can do hard things, everybody. We do hard things every day. You wake up grateful, you're alive, step into gratitude, say a little prayer for you, together forever. Do 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 do. So it's a beautiful time of year. Just wanted to share with you guys where I was. The journey's been pretty rocky. Um, right before COVID. Whew, but I've made it out of the clouds. I've made it out, and I've made it out way stronger, way more powerful. So much growth, so much learning, and I show up because I want people to heal and to get out of that playing small, being disempowered, letting other people, make them devalue them. Devalue. I was devalued. I watched all those things happen. Look, now that I learned about them, love bombing, the manipulation and the gaslighting to the devaluing to the discard, that happened for me. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful for today, for open-minded spirituality, for faith, for love, for God. That is the truth. That is our truth. We are perfect, whole, and complete just as we are. And for this truth, I know this truth for you and for me, that we are one. We are one. We are connected. We are love. We are God. God is love. We are eternal. And I am just so grateful for this moment in time, and for spring to show up tomorrow, and for all of us to start being able to get in the ground and plant flowers, and to get in the ocean and to be around each other, and celebrate life on life's terms. And thank you so much for being here. If you did enjoy this content, take that second to hit the subscribe button and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm so grateful for you and spending your time here with me today. Forever grateful for being sober, and my spiritual community, my AA community, and everyone who has been in my life to be part of it and to support, or maybe knock me down so that I could get up bigger, badder, and stronger. And that's what happens, guys. So I'm also offering one-to-one sessions in person if you live near me. at the starting point. I am on their website, and you can reach out to directly or team@karenkane.com. You can also book an appointment or a free 15-minute consultation on my website as well. And then we see if we're good fit, and then we can go from there. But right now, for a limited time, a 1 hour spiritual counseling life coaching session is only $49.99. So thanks so much. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your Sunday and happy spring. Peace, love, and namaste. Bye, guys.